Sis, let's be honest. When was the last time you said yes when really you meant no? Was it the yeah, I'm fine, or I guess like I'll come, or I don't mind, like that kind of thing? When in reality, like our bodies are screaming, no, like, no, you know, like, why do we do this? Like, why do we think that it's okay to make others feel comfortable and then forget about ourselves? Like, why do we do that? So, with that being said, sis, let's talk about it. Welcome to Between Us, sis, a space where black women can have honest conversations about love, life, healing, faith, and everything else between. So get comfortable because this conversation is between us, sis. Honestly, like I've been thinking lately about like how like we're raised to be such polite human beings, be respectful, be kind to your elders, don't talk back, don't be too difficult, solve your own problems, like this and that the other. But, like it gets to a point where it's like it's exhausting, having to do all these things and have to micromanage your own feelings or have someone else micromanage your own feelings. And like you abandon yourself. Like you almost forget who you really are, and it becomes months, and then months become years, and years become God knows how long, you know, and then it becomes this whole explosion, and people say, "Oh wow, it just came out of nowhere." Like really, did it really come out of nowhere? Or was I quiet and silent for so long because I couldn't have my own opinion? Like being told to keep the peace, or like allow others to flourish. But it gets to a point when you have to think about like, when is it gonna be your turn? When are you gonna be able to do those things that your sisters or your friends or your parents have done to take care of themselves? Like it gets to a point where like you kind of just have to sit there and go, you know what? If I have to be the villain of someone's story just because I want to live my life, okay, that's completely fine. But like, don't allow it to fester for so long where you have to be like a people pleaser. Like at some point you have to set boundaries because you'll lose your life, whether it be you don't go for the job you wanted, or you don't stop posting, or you don't start that podcast, or like, or you, so many opportunities go by, and then 10 years time you're just like, I've done nothing with my life. Like I have nothing to show, nothing to be proud about, while your friends are going on trips, people are getting engaged, people are getting married, people are having kids. Like, don't allow that to be you. Like, live, you know? But sis, let's be real. Like, we've betrayed ourselves so many times. Like, so many times. Like, I know I have. Like, to keep the peace, like I said. But when does that stop? Like, like, why is it that we're taught that being honest is this risky thing that could like collapse relationships, friendships, business opportunities? Like, why do we have to sacrifice that? Like, I know for myself, like, I've learned a very hard task of being honest with myself and like the people around me, and it has cost me so much, right? But I had to look back and go, I have to start again. And I hate that. I hate that I have to revamp my life again when things hit the fan, or people leave, or people don't respect my boundaries, or whatever the case may be, because it's scary. Like, I hate being vulnerable. Like, I had conditioned myself for so long to feel like being soft and vulnerable was wrong. And don't even get me started about crying in front of people. Like, I kid you not, I even now, even though I feel a lot more like myself and have gone to therapy about things, like, I'm gonna be so honest with you, right? I mean, we have all had our fair share of people pleasing and call it compassion, call it keeping the peace, however you want to word it, right? Like, I mean, like I said, we've all had it, but it gets to the point where it becomes embarrassing, right? Like, I know for myself, I've stayed in friendships, relationships, right, that have lasted too long because I wanted to keep these people in my life. Like, I thought that these people were forever people and that we go through ebbs and flows, but ebbs and flows are like little tidbits essentially that you'd go with through your friend, like, oh my god, that comment was so like annoying and rude, or oh my gosh, like, you forgot my birthday, or oh my god, like those things that you can like solve, like those things that you can like bicker about, but then at the end of the day, we both are on the same page. We're both understanding of each other's situations, and like, as a high maintenance girly myself and who loves being around people, like who like was like, oh my gosh, I need to be around every single human being on this earth, right? And who thrived on being liked by everyone. And like, I, as a kid, like, I grew up being like, oh my god, this person doesn't like me, girl. Like, sis, are you okay? Because listen, not everyone's gonna like you. Like, not everyone is gonna be your quote unquote cup of tea, because it was definitely a hard lesson I had to learn because yikes. Like, I wanted to be everyone's best friend. And if I wasn't, it was like, you hate me, you think I'm the worst person on earth, like, oh my gosh, like, wow, how could you be this mean to me? Like, I've been so nice. Once again, sis, it is okay that some people do not like you. Like, and this is from myself as well. Like, I would literally shrink myself down. Like, it's to the point where, like, I was very much a victim to peer pressure. A victim to peer pressure, if you will. Like, I remember being in high school and like being around my friends who were more um experienced on certain things, right? And I was like, oh my god, like, I'm not, like, I'm shy, I don't know what I'm doing. And then forcing myself to do these things just because so and so did it. Like, what? Because now I look back, I'm like, did I really need to be doing that at that age? did I did I need to do that? I don't think I did. Like, because even at the end of the day, with these friends that I've had over the past, 27 years of my life, a lot of them are not in my life anymore. And I live with the memories of doing these like ridiculous things that honestly I regret. I regret them. Like, I just, wow. Like 15, 16-year-old me was such a people pleaser, such a Miss Goody Two Shoes, and obviously along the way, like, you learn how to become your own person, right? I get that. Obviously, younger me understands that now, right? But it gets to the point where, like, you look back and you're like, I hate, like, I hated arguing with my friends. I hated bringing up any issue, big or small, Like it literally made me want to just, just hide, like hide away, pretend like it never happened. Like even if my friends are like, "Hey, do you want to talk about like what's going on?" That kind of thing. I'll be like, "No, it's fine." But yeah, like even though I've gone to therapy and things, I feel like for me, anytime a friend, a family member, whoever brought up any issues when I was younger about our relationship, about my attitude, I'll be like, why do you hate me? And like I said, I was very much a people pleaser. Like I wanted to be liked by literally every existing person, right? That it would cut little Nina's heart, like, oh, I don't like you, or yeah, we have an issue. So when it came to how my friends and I solved problems back then, we wouldn't. It would be like, I have an issue with Nina, done, and then pretend like it never happened. Uh, it helped no one. It literally helped no one, like at all, like at all, because it'll be that case of now we're dealing with young teenagers, and we all know how high school goes. Girls talk, and rumors begin, and problems get bigger, right? And so it would snowball into this bigger thing than it needed to be. Like, it would be a case of, oh, pissed me off today. And it would be, honestly, that small. But now it's, oh my God, I heard that you said this about me, and this happened, and that. Be so serious. Be so serious. It is okay. it, it, you'll be fine, Like, you'll be fine, you know? Like, I can't believe that because I hated saying no, because I disliked confrontation, or not necessarily confrontation, but like the aspect of problem solving or things of that nature, that I was so complacent to being okay with how things are just to keep the peace. Where now, after going through all that, right, I can communicate with my friends and be like, hey girl, like, sis, this irritated me today. Can we talk about it? And it be a case of like, I find it more comfortable to sit in that uncomfortability of like talking about it than like pretending like it never existed, right? And it's a big change that some of us are lucky to go through, and some of us are still somewhat dealing with it and trying to, yeah, just trying to talk to us about like whatever like awkward moment we clearly had, because we could feel the tension. But I'll be like I said, it's fine, it's whatever. But like I'd go home and be like, this freaking person was irritating me, and da, da, da. Like I would act big mad, like literally act mad and irritated behind the scenes, which then led into like very like crappy behavior. Like it was very much so like, you had an attitude problem, girl. Like, like you were very much so, hate to say it, but in a way two-faced. And I had to come into that reality that when I would sit there and pretend like it was fine in front of everyone, and then go write in my journal or go talk to my mom or my sister and be like, oh my God, this girl was irritating me today, or like this guy said this, or the teacher, like, come on, like, just tell someone or tell whoever, hey, what you said was not nice, or I don't want to go outside, or I don't want to drink alcohol today, or things like that. Like, you don't always have to say yes. Saying no is a completely fine answer. And I took a long, long, long time to get to that point. Like, thank God I'm here. Because, to be younger me again, honestly, never. Could never be me. Like, I think back to my most recent relationship that I had, and literally seeing the quote unquote foundations that we had crumbling, right? And I'm like, I'm gonna fix this and everything's gonna be fine. Like, yay, we can be harmonious. Girl, like, sis, please, I beg, let it go. And it's okay to let it go. And I'm so glad I did because I'm myself again. I had lost over a year of pretending to be someone I wasn't. And in my head, I was thinking, I'm not pretending, I'm happy. And like, don't get me wrong, like, I genuinely did feel happiness and love in that moment, right? And I can betray happiness and love and all these good things, but at the same time, at what cost? At what cost? Because you're losing it. You're going a little psycho, a little cuckoo up in there, right? And then it's the shame of telling your friends or your family or whoever, like, hey, actually, you know what? I'm not good. I'm not okay. Like, I don't know why I said yes. Like, why did I say yes to that? You know? Like, it just gets to a point where, like, no is a good answer. Saying I don't want to come or I don't want this or this and that the other is a completely fine answer. Like, you don't need to explain yourself. And it's something I struggle with still now, even though I am a better version of myself, right? And we live and we learn, honestly. Like, we live and we learn. Cause no, I think about like the times I wanted to be honest and be like, hey, this doesn't work for me, or like, hey, like I'm not happy in this situationship or friendship or relationship. I've been scared to, because honestly, honesty is scary. Honesty is risky. It's vulnerable and intimidating. Like I look back and I look at how I could have been so much happier in certain situations had I been honest. And I know for us, specifically as black women, like, we're told we're scary, we're told we're aggressive, we're told we're too vulnerable, too loud, too annoying, too much, too just there, you know? And it gets to the point where it's like, okay, then what am I meant to do? You want us to be there to hear you out or see you or walk beside you or help you or love you or support you or be your voices, be sometimes your physical embodiment of a shield, right? But how am I meant to do that if I'm not that for myself? How am I meant to do that when I'm not even protecting myself? I'm not learning, I'm not growing, I'm just stagnant. Like, I'm just there. I have become numb, or we've become numb, and there's no emotion, it's just a being, an essence, if you will. And you just start to like question, like, what is this for? Who is this for? Because yes, I want to be there for my friends, my family, my loved ones, whoever, right? But I'm not showing up in the best form that I know I could. I'm not showing up my authentic self because my own voice, your voice, or your mom's voice, your auntie's voice, your grandparents' voice, your ancestors, whoever has made you mold into something you don't recognize when you look in the mirror. You know? Like, it gets to the point where, like, as black women, like I said, we're given so many labels before we even open our mouths, before even you know our names. Like, we're put into these caricatures, these stereotypes that we have to fight for years, decades to get rid of and showcase how versatile we are, because we're very intelligent, we're smart, we're kind, understanding, soft human beings, but the world doesn't let us be like that. The world doesn't like when we're like that, because they know what we're like when, or what we could be like at our full potential. And honestly, sis, it scares them. It scares them knowing that if we become our own person, and when I say they, I mean it could be your mom, it could be your sister, an auntie, and a friend, you know, when we're at our fullest potential, we know what we can do. We know what we're capable of. And that's why people gravitate towards us, right? But it's never reciprocated. Like, it's never returned. It's never, the energy's not given back, you know? And when it comes to our low moments, when it comes to our achievements, our happy times, right? Our birthdays, our graduations, everything that is to do with us in a positive light, crickets. And I'm so glad, and I'm so happy to see how we flourish and see how we form in spaces that we're loved in, because younger girls need that. Younger girls need physical embodiment of what it truly means to be a black woman, what it truly means to live in our power, whether that be vulnerability, whether that be just anything and everything in between. You know, like, we are amazing human beings, and it gets to the point where we should be able to say no. We should be able to protect our bodies, our souls, our minds, everything that is us, from our hair to our dances, to our food, to our music. We're allowed to gatekeep, because as black women, a lot of things come for us. And trying to find what that boundary looks like for them, because like I said, and like we all know, like, being black women, like, it's difficult to set boundaries with people because of how we're conditioned. And like, I feel like it should be a challenge for us all to set a boundary, say no at least once within the next few weeks, and journal more, and pull your friend aside and be like, hey girl, like, let's talk about something that upset me, or that made me feel weird, or that made me feel this and that the other, right? But at the same time, it's a weird thing to think about, but at the same time, this is what makes community. At the same time, you'd want to have people who are able to accept you completely, and accept your boundaries, and understand your rules and regulations of what it takes to be in your world, right? But you would have to give them the same energy. You would have to give them the ability to make mistakes, and they would have to give you the ability to make mistakes, and be able to grow healthily together, you know? Because at the end of the day, what are we like without a community? What are we like? Yeah, like, what are we out? What are we without a community? What are we out with a sense of self, you know? And so, with that being said, sis, it is okay to love yourself just as much as you love other people. It is okay to set boundaries, to set rules and regulations of what it's like to be you, and have you around or have people around. It's okay to be soft and vulnerable and not have everything put together. We're human beings at the end of the day. We have time to grow and learn and restart, and yes, it's scary. Yes, it's intimidating. Yes, it's risky at whatever age or whatever time frame you have for yourself. Be patient. The same grace you give up to other people, allow that grace to come in, and allow it to settle in. And so that concludes the first episode of Between Us Sis. Thank you so much for joining us today. I've been your host, if anything has resonated with you, I've been your host, and thank you for sitting with me. And I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, follow our Instagram, our TikTok, and we'll see you next week. Bye, sis.